Wow.
It's hot, it's cold, it's wet, it's dry. It's dogs and cats living together, the weather in the Ozarks, mass hysteria, and what happened to Chris's nose. All about this right after the intro. And we are back.
We're back.
And we're back.
Good morning, Beth.
Wow.
That's what we want from you.
Yes.
How about those Chiefs? I don't guess they played in the Super Bowl again. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people thought that when everybody was complaining about them dropping passes.
Right.
Fair weather.
You just got to hit it at the right time.
Yep.
They did
Gotta
kind
get
of come
hot.
from behind, didn't they? A little bit.
Not
really
I mean,
watching.
they didn't
In this
start off
game?
with a bang-up season.
No, the season.
The season,
Yeah, they
yeah.
didn't start
Well,
with
actually, they started well, then hit a lull, and then hit stride here at the end.
Yep. Well, that's good.
You know me, a big-time NFL fan.
Yeah.
You know, I watch it every
Football,
day.
yeah.
I watch the analysts.
I've watched more this year than I've watched in a long time.
There you
I'm
go.
starting to get my interest back a little bit. But I made the joke. I've watched now 4 Chiefs games all the way through,
Oh, wow.
and they're 4-0.
Oh.
So my logic says if we could pass the pot, maybe send me to the Super Bowl,
need to go to the
because I
Super
think
Bowl.
for the big game I need to be in person.
I'll have my people
Yeah.
call your people.
That
But
makes
I'm just
sense.
simply saying I might be the charm.
That makes a
Just-
lot of sense to me.
Logically, I think it's
Logically,
pretty
it
much
tracks.
without any error.
Yeah, it tracks for
There's
sure.
no fallacy at all there.
It for sure tracks.
No, that adds up.
It is not me-centric at all, I don't think. I think it's all about the Chiefs and their
of
fan
course.
base.
Yeah, it's very selfless of you to
Very.
make the sacrifice.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you guys need from me, I'm here for you.
Tell us about your mishap yesterday.
Oh,
The world
man.
needs to know what happened to you.
Well, okay, so I have not played on my old man soccer team for, I played last summer. I didn't play at all last fall. So anyway, I saw they were playing last night. I'm like, I'm going. So
Come back.
invited Sage, because it means we're going to win if I bring my 20-year-old son
To the old man
especially,
league.
especially if he plays.
who
Yeah.
plays semi-pro, indoor arena soccer. So anyway, and it's good fun. But anyway, so we go out and we're playing a team that is not good, right? Like
Yeah.
Sage made the point, Dad, this is walking soccer. You know that, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's my level, right? So
Walking soccer.
it's very much old man soccer. So, to the point where I beat this defender.
We were looking to you, Beth.
Yeah, we need about 7,000
We
for
were
one
just
of those
looking to you
tickets.
for that, Beth.
$7 to $8 grand. Is that what it is?
We
Yeah.
were looking at tickets last night. I was seeing 5 to
Oh,
7,000 in some seats.
Wow.
We didn't look further. So
Yeah, so anyway, I beat this guy, and so now I'm point blank with a keeper. I fire a shot. I didn't slide it by him. He makes the save, and now from 2 feet away, my shot ricochets back square on my nose.
Oh.
And I'm just kind of dazed. My teammates are yelling at me to get back on defense, and
you're like, I think I'm 5 years old right now.
I'm asking myself, am I concussed? I wasn't, but my bell was rung, and next thing I know, I'm now dripping. And so I already have a large nose. This is kind of a joke anyway, I embrace it, and now it is extra large. So, I'm feeling like my nose is, I can't see you right now. It's covering my eyeballs. It feels swollen.
Good
It looks
morning,
swollen.
Heather.
And
That hurts.
And the new lights, are really just accentuating it. So you're welcome.
You're welcome.
To our audience
Took
online.
one for the team.
You remember that movie Roxanne with Steve Martin? That's
Yeah, it
going
was
way
a
back.
remake of Cyrano de Bergerac.
Oh, is that the one where he's got the
Was it?
nose?
Yeah, he's got the big nose. Yeah.
I remember the big nose. I don't
And
remember the movie.
he talks about, you don't know what it's like to wake up in the morning and smell the coffee in Brazil. So now I have the pleasure of having this massive schnoz, and I can't smell either. So,
yay.
what's the point?
What is the point?
What's the point?
Okay, so do I need to confess now too?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah, it's time.
See this?
He's got a broken wing.
Yeah, I broke my shoulder because I fell down.
Why, Will? Why'd you fall down?
I was going to breakfast on last Monday when everybody else was smart enough to stay home and not go out on the ice.
Shame me.
I went.
Those breakfast entries are the worst.
They
Will's
are,
like,
yeah.
I need some biscuits and gravy.
I do, and they were great. I had
It's so
some great
dangerous
biscuits.
outside. I'm
Hey,
gonna
and
go
I
have some
commend you.
breakfast.
You went through with it. Broken shoulder and all, I'm still going to breakfast.
I broke my shoulder after breakfast.
After,
Oh, okay.
so
Well,
that's
never
at
mind.
least less insulting.
Yeah, but worked the whole day. I'm thinking I'm going to have to check this out, and really, what I was worried about was the.
Our new lights are flashy.
I don't know. They're
It's
new.
fine. It's power searches.
I was worried about a rotator cuff injury, which I was really worried about.
Yeah.
I'd torn my rotator cuff and went to the urgent care in Ozark, which, by the way, that's the urgent care to go to.
That's good to know.
You're talking about the big Mercy?
No,
or are you talking about
no, I'm
just
talking
the
about
urgent
Cox.
care?
I'm Cox.
You're Cox, okay.
We're Cox Network.
Not the
Interesting.
orthopedic hospital. Okay.
No. I went to the urgent care in Ozark. Now, it used to be kind of there at that outer road and J or NN is where it used to be. It was kind of small.
Okay.
Well, now they've built a bigger facility.
I don't even know if I knew that.
It's
Yeah, it,
back
was right,
over.
it used to be behind Ozark Bank right there. Is that what you're talking
I believe that's
Yeah.
right. Right across from not Menards, the other one, Orscheln.
Oh, Orson, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
now it's Tractor Supply.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I call that the Lambert's
the big.
exit.
It's across street from where that big marshmallow used to be,
Yes.
which I think is the indoor.
It's still there.
the big
volleyball
marshmallow is
place,
very
yeah.
much still there.
Yep.
Now
It's
they have a bigger
marshmallowing.
facility. It's over by the shooting range. So,
Oh, yes. Yeah, across the highway now.
yeah.
Lambert's exit.
So it was really great. Went there and they took the X-rays and they said, nah, we don't see any breaks or anything. I'm like, dang it, And then the nurse practitioner that I saw was in there, and so I signed her up for some estate planning while I was there. It's a productive
Love it.
trip.
That's awesome.
And they're like, well, just go to sports medicine clinic. It's a walk-in clinic, and that's how you get started for anything ortho. You got to go through there in the Cox system. So I went there the next day, Tuesday, right after I left the Waffle, actually, went up there and signed a guy up in the waiting room for an estate plan while I was there. Another good trip.
You just need more injuries,
I
man.
just
You're
need more
killing
injuries.
it.
They're just, I'm about to break even.
You're going to be
on
one of
this
those
deal.
lawyers that walks in with a fake neck brace. Oh.
No, you put your clients in the fake neck
yeah,
brace. Didn't really help the
yeah,
lawyer.
No,
Well,
I mean, like you go into the
working for me.
lobby
Oh, I
at
see,
the
I see.
hospital and
Sign
collect
everybody
the
up.
clients.
But I wasn't signing them up
Sir,
for.
do you have an appointment? No, I'm just hanging out in your waiting room.
It's like if you guys have
Killing it out here. Killing it.
You guys have seen My Cousin Vinny, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you fall? Your place was somebody else's. My place.
That's right.
But then the doctor, Dr. Trevor Connor, D.O.,
Dr. Trevor.
said, well, I think maybe you got a broken shoulder. And he shows me the X-ray, and by golly, you can see just this little crack.
And that was the best news you could get.
It was the best news I could get. Was it's a fracture, and not a torn rotator
Yeah.
cuff.
Oh,
A
yucko.
small fracture will heal much quicker than having to go in and repair that.
Yeah,
that ligament.
So
Oh, man. Emma says it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, and she knows it. Beth says, sorry about shoulder, Will. Speedy healing. What
Yeah.
a difference a week makes. 4 layers of clothes last Monday and shorts yesterday.
I know, right?
I know.
Yep,
We're in false spring.
Yep.
We'd had
Fall spring number one.
We'd had boxes stacked up in here for like a month because it was too cold for me to want to take them out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I filled up the dumpster yesterday afternoon.
That's understandable.
When I was in Anaheim a couple weeks ago, I was talking to this guy. He's like, "Oh, Missouri, where at?" And I was telling him, and he goes, "I'm going to be playing golf the first week of May. What's it called?" And immediately I'm at top of the rock
Yeah.
down in Branson. He goes, "Yeah, that's it." He goes, "So first week of May, what's the weather going to be like?" And I was like,
Good question.
Prepare for all 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Snow
And I
to
don't
90.
mean like for the weekend, I mean, you might have winter on Saturday, and you might have summer on Sunday.
You might have winter in the morning and summer in the afternoon.
You never know. There could be a tornado. There could be all kinds of things.
Yeah, it just cracked me up. Like, what? How should I prepare for the weather first week of May? I'm like, oh, that's a crapshoot.
Because we've had 5 inches of snow on May 5th.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember it snowing on May 5th.
For sure.
So dumb.
It was a deal. But
Do I remember that, or was that in your lifetime?
Are you channeling? No, you remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that the one that was
I was an
like
adult when that happened.
probably 10 years ago or so? Well, maybe like 15.
Even recently, I mean, I think a couple times in the last 10 years, we've had like even a dusting, the first week of May. So it's not that uncommon.
And really, some of the biggest, thickest, deepest snows usually come February, March.
Yeah, exactly.
The fluffies. They go away quick, which are nice.
Yeah, they're pretty.
They are pretty.
So I just hope this isn't a trifecta situation, because I would prefer not to be injured right now.
We're going to pray for Lauren's.
Broken nose, broken shoulder. What's going to happen to Lauren?
No.
We're praying for a hedge of protection around Lauren right now.
Hedge protection.
Was that a reference to my new hair?
It could be, So we've been watching.
Hedge.
We've been watching Cheers.
Cheers is good.
Well, and
it is good.
I think we watched it. It was the '80s. I was a teenager, and life experience changes your perspective on things. And what I did not remember is what an absolute nonstop, incessant horn dog Sam was.
Oh yeah,
how'd you
he
forget
was
that?
Huge. That was kind of his whole thing.
I wasn't really focused on that when I was a young
I haven't heard
man,
that since middle school.
I don't know, but it wasn't.
Woody's character.
It just
Woody Harrelson.
It just I don't know. It didn't register with me. I watching now, I was like, holy
he's a
cow.
pervert.
I mean, he's just.
It's too much.
That wouldn't fly today.
Oh, no. There's a lot that wouldn't fly
No.
today. The show would be incredibly boring today because all the funny stuff they'd censor.
We started watching it, I don't know, a while ago, but I don't think we got to the Woody Harrelson years, because he comes on later.
Fourth season, I think.
Yeah, we didn't get that far.
Yeah,
and there
I told my wife when we were watching, I said, oh, Coach, he only makes it through the first season, and then he died. And I'm like, well, no, he's second. No, here's the third. Now he's in the fourth season.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think of the names of the two women that there was the early season, the blonde.
Well, that's Diane Chambers.
Diane.
Shelley Long.
She's just a different
Shelley.
Diane.
And then you have Rebecca Howe, which was played
Allie,
by Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley, yeah.
Kirstie Alley. Those are the two.
But see, I knew that they kind of switched off. I forgot that Woody didn't come on until.
Yeah, we didn't make it to the Woody years.
I feel like the actor that played Coach died.
Yeah, he died.
He died, and that's why it made up.
There's so many.
Because I loved Woody's character.
I feel like there's so many episodes per season, isn't there? Isn't there a bunch?
Oh yeah.
More than what you see now coming out.
Yeah, episodes now. Like they can only afford Hollywood actors for like 10 episodes a season. Back then it was like 20 something.
Yeah.
And they got paid like not nearly as much. Yeah.
And the scripts were better.
Like I remember when the Friends actors were getting $1 million an episode.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was huge news.
That's a big deal.
It's probably not that. But what made me think of this was Sam's hair is really weird.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
Sam's kind of really weird in general.
Was it?
Yeah, he was bald.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did he get hair plugs later in life?
I think he did. Yeah.
Because he definitely is not bald.
Because that was the thing. Like he was always obsessive about his hair.
I didn't know he was bald back then. I knew he became bald.
No, I think that was a toupee the whole time.
Because he's not bald.
We'll fact check that. I may have.
We need somebody to Google that for us and let us know.
He's definitely not bald in.
That would be Ted Danson.
Ted Danson.
When did he go bald?
Yeah.
What is the name of the show? Larry David's show, because he's in that show and he's not bald, so he must have gotten hair plugs. Yeah.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay, we have been watching Northern Exposure.
Oh, good show.
Interesting.
Is that a remake or is that the old one?
It's the old one. Okay. And I
forgot about it. We're going to put that in the queue.
I had never seen an episode. It is so cheesy in a delightful way.
Yep. Which I'm a big fan of.
Has been watching Frasier.
Laughing Frasier. Well, see,
the new Frasier's coming.
Yeah, we're gonna after Cheers, we're gonna pile right into Frasier.
Yeah, Frasier was, essentially a spinoff.
Yeah, it was.
Because the theme carried on, like the character carried on.
Yeah,
right?
Same character. Yeah, he's moved to Seattle.
Yep.
And he
is
practice. He's a radio psychologist.
Oh, that's
so he's got his own radio show.
I've forgotten that.
Yeah,
All out your crane.
Northern Exposure is interesting. It's a really unique show. Mm-hmm. It is. It's totally different. It's
that's the one where the doctor
gets
goes,
trapped to be a doctor in Alaska
because he's paying off his school loans or something.
They like he's got like he has to keep his 4-year contract or whatever. It's a hoot. It's really weird though too.
I remember it being a lot of fun.
I never got into that.
It was kooky. It's kooky. It's very kooky.
That show ran about the same time as Twin Peaks.
Which
was
putting those
also
two together.
Twin Peaks is one that I
explains
need
it.
to watch. I've never
kooky.
watched.
Well, it's weird.
Is it weird?
Yeah, I mean it's fun to watch, but it's just weird. And that was my introduction to
we've got an
Commonwealth.
answer from the producer.
Lachlan. Oh, he's
So maybe
been
it was.
bald
So
since
was it a toupee?
1978.
Can you confirm that he wore a toupee on this show?
I'm
Yeah, I
trying
think-
to
I think he
remember
did.
if
'Cause I thought that was kind of the
swear
whole
he's
joke.
got grayish hair on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
No, I think he got the implants.
Yes, Emma.
There's definitely
That's
a moose.
right.
Probably. I mean, same thing with like Steve Carell. Steve Carell from The Office.
Mm-hmm.
First couple seasons of The Office, he's almost bald, or he's definitely balding,
Balding.
and now he's got straight up hair.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, this is all real.
This is real too.
Yeah.
I just want to be very
yeah, this is
clear
yeah,
about that.
creepy, weird, no kids. It's probably Twin Peaks. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, scary. Yeah, it's scary. It can be scary.
Creepy, weird.
Yeah.
You gotta watch that.
There's some
creepy.
great lines, quotable lines from Twin Peaks. I think like there's a fish in the percolator.
Whoops.
Oh, ooh,
There was
ooh.
a
Whoops.
fish
Nice,
in the
more Midwestern.
percolator,
Yeah.
wrapped in plastic.
So we've
That was
covered
the
some
other
old shows. What else is going on in the world right now? We've got football. We've got TV. That's happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's that weird lull before nice weather.
T Swift and Travis Kelce kissed.
It's a
I
thing.
think people seem to be interested in that.
It's sparking a lot of memes.
I'd rather see his brothers make a chest again than to see them
It's
kiss.
sparking
But whatever.
a
Now,
whole
who is
lot of
this
memes.
Taylor Swift person?
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure. I think the kids like her.
So
Because
like,
she's with Travis Kelce.
That's why.
Yeah, that's
claim to
why.
fame.
Nobody knew her before then.
No, no,
I
never
would
heard
assume
of
that
her.
would be her claim to fame. Dating a
So it
NFL
is
guy.
though. It's sparking a ton of social media debate. It's one of these situations that's not going away because, like yesterday, there were new memes that had produced.
There were some good ones.
Well, and like the ones I'm seeing are not particularly funny. There
Oh
are,
my goodness.
There are people who see the double standard side of this situation. You know,
Go on.
and the one yesterday was. Let me see if I can find it. Hold up.
While you look it up, my favorite was
ahead,
the quarterback Dawson. I think it was Dawson. The famous picture of the quarterback smoking a cig on the bench. It's T Swift.
That
though.
was
They
funny.
put her
That was funny. She's like, I'm carrying this whole team.
Yeah.
smoking. Just
Okay, so the one yesterday is Travis with his arm around her. Your daughters are watching you hate Taylor Swift for supporting her boyfriend and hearing you complain about her taking 60 seconds of airtime out of a 3-hour game. What they hear, be smaller, be less, do better. That was the one yesterday
Yeah,
that made its rounds.
I'll be honest with you. Stuff like that for me is a stretch. I get it on the grander scale that there might be some messages out there, but I think what people are really saying is I'm here for the football. I'm not here for the relationship, and I don't know.
It is not unusual, though, they did it with Donna Kelsey last year. Remember this? They did it with Kurt Warren.
But what did they
Warner.
do with Donna Kelsey? I mean,
fun.
here's a mom of 2 professional athletes.
Yeah.
I felt like they were celebrating her. Like, wow, has this ever happened before? No, this is cool.
Yeah.
We're interested in this mom. So I get it on that level. They're just not, I don't know. I think maybe that's more relatable because we all have a mom. And we can relate to that mom pride. Whereas, like, hey, they've been dating 4 months. Who cares?
Well,
I can relate. I got a hot wife. I mean, I totally get it.
Well, they're not married, but anyway.
Okay, so here's the only thing though. Like when she
Hope she's
first
watching.
when she first showed up to games, it was
Well
too
played.
much. It was too much. They showed her too much. Now they show her just the same way they show, because it's not unusual for them to
I think Emma's right.
hone in. It is marketing genius to hone in on a wife of a player. This has happened since I remember. Remember when Kurt Warner was with the Rams and his
Yeah.
wife had battled
Brenda,
cancer?
Yep.
And they showed her all the time. So it's not unusual for them
Sure.
to hone in on a girlfriend, on a wife. This
I suppose.
happens. And now, yeah, now, Brittany Mahomes and she gets her fair share of backlash too. I obviously personally don't know any of these people, so I don't know what they're like in person.
I know a lot of people in Kansas City. I hear she's a monster.
Maybe she is. I don't know. I've seen
servers and restaurants and such.
Meme of her on the basketball court. Like, it looks like she's tearing into Mahomes. That's from like a long time ago. But anyway, so I do think, though, you have to realize there is some truth to the double standards of the world. We all know that they exist.
I'm not disagreeing that they exist. I'm just in this context, it just...
There are people, I think, though, and you're not one of these people, so you're not...
Maybe allergic to what?
Who are saying, oh, my, just here to watch football, freaking Taylor Swift, blah, 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 and people complain, and, people complaining about it.
Sure.
When it's no different than any time this has ever happened when they've honed in on a girlfriend or wife situation, because they do this. They do this in every sport, right?
And I guess that's where I'm consistent, if nothing else, because when I'm watching a game and they pan to... Hollywood celebrity,
like
X, Y, or Z.
They're the perfect example of this, right?
I don't care who's in the crowd. Please go back. I just missed a play because you didn't cut back to the game.
That would be annoying.
It is annoying.
Yeah.
It's like anyway. So I don't care who's there. If you want to say it, like, oh look, so and so's here, like fine, but just keep the focus on the game.
Here's a different perspective, though, Ballard. If you're a dad watching football and you've got two girls in the room who love Taylor Swift, isn't it a wonderful way to connect with your daughters?
Well, no, a better way is to get up and like I do with my daughter and try to dance with her. And evidently, I'm not good at twerking. But
are you not good at twerking?
That's what she tells me. But I think I look pretty good doing it. Just saying.
From a little bit from that perspective, I see what you're saying, Lauren.
Yeah.
But I would, if I had daughters, and I never had, I would not point them towards Taylor Swift as a role model.
Which you'd be crazy not to.
Oh yeah,
I
wouldn't.
That's a political difference, though. You got to remember, though, it's like appreciate. Okay, so
artistic.
Sure, we can celebrate the things that she's done well or where she's been successful.
But the way she's conducted her personal life.
For me,
her personal life hasn't been conducted any different than any celebrity.
Right, but I think
they're all terrible.
I think to Will's point, there are people that I point my daughter to, and there are people that I would say, hey, that ain't it. Right, to use her language, that ain't it. So, and I don't mean to be hating on her. That's not the point, because it's not hating on her. It's just simply saying, "Hey, let's see and appreciate." So, what female
musician would you point your daughters to? What male musician would you point your sons to?
Yeah,
but that's my point.
So there's none.
That's my point. In the same with professional athletes with my boys, I might look at them and say, "Look at how he worked to get where he got." That's a good work ethic. If you want to be a professional soccer player like him, do what he did in this way. But as far as being a man, I point them to some men that I see every Sunday here in my church that, whether they go to work and work for somebody or run a business and have employees, like that guy is doing it right. Be like him.
Okay, here's a good one. That's Dolly Parton. Yay or nay? Like, would you say there's a good role model?
I don't think I know enough about Dolly to...
I think you guys don't know enough about Taylor. That's the point I'm making.
No, because again, I could look at my daughter and say, look at the way that she has run a business, and look at her ability to put herself out there artistically.
Do you know that she's written every song?
Yeah,
or written or co-written every song in her discography, except for like a couple of covers and a couple of collaborations.
That's all I'm saying is I can celebrate her successes, but not. For me, celebrities are not role models. They are.
Oh, I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, so there are people in our community that we know the ins and outs of their lives. Those are your role models. Look at what they do well. Look how they apologize when they make mistakes. We don't really know the ins and outs
of people's lives in our communities. Though.
Well, in my community, I do. Like the people that are closest to me, who've been in our home, who, you know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, when I point my daughter to a person, it has to be somebody I know their heart. And nobody's perfect, but I just mean like I know them well enough to say, model that. Taylor, I can say, man, look at that. She's been successful. Look at her. She's super talented. She's super artistic. I'm not trashing on her. I'm simply saying I don't know her well enough to say, hey, be like her.
I don't think anybody's saying be like Taylor Swift, because you can't be like Taylor Swift. There's only one of those, right? I mean, she's one of the most brilliant musicians of our time. And She is. Well, there's a difference between, and I'm not a Swiftie, right? I just like some of her music. I also like everybody's music. There's a difference between not liking a genre of music and appreciating that the artist making it is one of the best. I mean, she's writing the most popular songs, period. And it's if you don't like pop music, you don't have to like her and watch her concerts. But the point I'm trying to make is, I don't have any struggle taking the pieces of somebody that I like and pulling out the pieces that I don't like and appreciating their talents, right?
Sure.
Because if I didn't, there's so many celebrities in this world there shouldn't be role models because frankly they live in a life that is almost unobtainable, right?
It's a fishbowl.
Yeah.
Too,
Yeah, and they're nuts. I mean, I'm not saying they're good moral people. They're nuts. I think you got to be real careful with her specifically, though, and here's why. And this is me playing devil's advocate a little bit. Because, one, she does not dress super scandalous. She wears some leotards and stuff, but you compare her to someone like Megan Thee Stallion.
I don't even know who that is.
You don't want to, Will.
Okay.
You'd be so triggered, it'd blow your mind.
Nothing triggers me.
She talks about boyfriends.
Untriggerable.
Well, I don't know about Megan might. She talks about boyfriends and stuff. She talks about boyfriends and stuff in her music, but so does everybody who writes music. So and she's got political opinions, but so does everybody who writes music, right? And I mean, like Big and Rich are Republicans, and you shouldn't discount them because they're Republicans, just like you shouldn't discount her because she's a Democrat. So my whole point is, though, you have Taylor, okay, and stick with me on this. She's a billionaire. She's self-made. She writes her own songs. She does her own concerts. She doesn't dress scandalous. Her behavior in general is very good. Who are women supposed to look up to?
You put her on the spectrum. She's probably better than most.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. What expectations are we putting in front of our daughters if Taylor Swift cannot be, I hate to say a role model, but an example of a successful woman who literally doesn't use sex to sell. She really doesn't.
Just breaking up with boyfriends. She just uses that. I'm just kidding.
I know, but every musician does that. So that's my point. You guys see what I'm getting? The point I'm getting at?
Your point is made.
What standard are we putting women at if we're going to make fun of one of the most successful women on the planet?
Well, making fun is different.
In a mean-spirited way.
Yeah.
Teasing, joking, but legitimately mean-spirited, hating, saying she's a bad person, because this does happen.
And that's not my message at all.
So do you see how
the memes are funny.
Yeah.
The memes are hilarious.
Do you see how this could be counterproductive to women?
Right. The vitriol, the hatred, that's another story. And
which it exists.
Yeah,
it 100% exists.
I'm sure
because
it does.
if you as a woman, if you're sitting there saying, if Taylor Swift isn't enough.
Yeah, and that's fair. And I just wasn't thinking on that level, because for me it's more like
Shauna.
I'm here for the game, and who you're dating, who you're not dating, who your mom is, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like I really don't care. I don't care when I'm watching a game and I find out the president's in attendance. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm here for the game. Period.
My point is there's layers, and it's deep.
Sure,
it's deeper on this one. It's deeper on this one than just the surface, and I think it's important to acknowledge that. That's what I'm putting out there.
You're talking about the conversation about Taylor Swift. There's an underlying tone.
There's a deeper underlying tone that if she's not enough, how can I be enough?
What I'm hearing,
what I maybe think this is? I don't think it's necessarily about Taylor Swift. I think that there's an underlying current that anybody who's successful, 90%, 80% of the population wants to cut them down.
Wants to hate them. Yeah, 100%.
Just because they're successful, man, woman, boy, child, whatever.
I totally agree with that.
They just want to take shots at people that are successful.
And that's at the local level, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So, I mean, I think you got to be careful just because, and I know I argued the point, and went on incessantly about this today. But I literally have been thinking about it almost nonstop for 2 weeks, because it does raise some interesting points. If she's not enough, if she's not enough,
I'm glad I'm not sure what I did.
I don't know what you want, but I'm sure there's a prize at the end.
Wing.
So.
If she's not enough, how can any woman be a quarter of enough?
Well, to validate your point, we do need to be careful with our words.
Yes.
And we need to be careful that we're clear. If somebody's going to protest, get T Swift off the screen, be clear what you mean by that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Don't let your signals get crossed. And unintentionally communicate to our daughters that you can't be successful in life. Which my mind wasn't there, so it's really hard for me to get there. But
I know, and that's why I kept,
I'm sure it exists. It's just not
push,
in my heart, not in my mind.
And this is like a think deeper about it, and truly do, because like I said, if it's kind of like Dolly Parton, right? Dolly Parton, she was one of the first people who owned her own music, right? And I obviously don't get plastic surgery. I'm not that type of person. Dolly does. And when I talk about Dolly with my girls,
she doesn't look like that normally.
That's true. When I talk about Dolly with my girls, I'm like, Dolly has done things because she enjoyed to do them that I personally wouldn't do. But she's a brilliant businesswoman. She's a brilliant musician, and that's what we love about Dolly. And so again, it's all about the conversation because little ears are listening, and it's tough. And women don't brush things off like men do. That's the other element to this. This is the differences of men and women. So,
I put my pants on both legs at the same time. I jump and
I bet you do.
And that's how he broke his shoulder.
That's how I broke my shoulder.
So I wanted to get it all out. Thank you for letting me go on my rant. I appreciate it.
Just get it out, Lauren. We're going some catharsis right here on the waffle.
Well, Shauna brings up a great point. I mean, just don't put people on a pedestal. I'm not. It takes I'm just not starstruck. I mean, I've met celebrities. I've been in the room with celebrities. You look at them and you're like, yeah, I was in the room with some professional athletes a couple weeks
Because of what
ago.
Shauna gives me my IVs is
that's
why I can do
it's
this.
It's 100% Shauna.
This shoulder has been broke for a week. It's practically healed already.
I mean, this is just me though. When I'm with somebody or in the room with somebody famous, I'm really not like, wow, this is amazing. I'm honestly looking at him going, that guy's got a wife. She's probably home, stressed with this or that or whatever. They have normal home lives just like the rest of us, and they may not have the same struggles I have in terms of job or finance or whatever, but they have the same struggles as I have in terms of we're all human.
Low money, more problems.
Relationships are hard. Life is hard.
Yes.
Circumstances come. Anyway, so it's just. We're just people.
Two things. One, we actually really need to approach everyone that way. Like, I don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah.
And they may be having a great day, a bad day, a horrible day, and I may say the wrong thing, and they're already having a bad day and just ruin it. So
she may not be a Karen, right? She may be just having a really bad day, and that happened to be the day you met her.
Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
And Beth would like to hate on Tony Romo now.
Poor Tony.
Let's turn
his heart.
Let's turn the tables.
Bless Tony's heart. I haven't even listened enough to know.
I was seeing just stuff and it was mostly people that don't like the Chiefs because I think he was really loving Pat Mahomes, and I didn't.
He's the new Brady, right?
Right.
Yeah. He's the new Brady. And I mean, that's Jesse's thing. Jesse's a huge football fan. Of course, he's a Raiders fan, so he's obviously not going to be a Chiefs fan. Yeah. But he's just like, it's annoying because they're the new Patriots.
Was it as bad as Joe Buck and Justin Verlander?
I don't know.
With that bromance?
Was it that bad? When I watch the game, I tend to turn the volume down. I hate commentators.
Oh, okay.
Especially hate
Chris
Collinsworth.
I can't listen.
Well, and this is what I mean.
Be kind. Come on, Beth. Which one is it? Are we hating on Tony Romo? Or are we going to be kind?
I love
make up your mind.
British commentators when I'm watching soccer because they don't tell me everything that my eyes are already seeing.
And driving down the midfield.
Oh, well, British people in general are much more delightful to listen to than Americans.
Yeah. And so,
note, I said two soccer words that are actually correct.
Yeah, you did.
Will's hello, can I get my gold star?
I wish you would have said football.
Okay.
Football words that work.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, right?
You'll get that next time.
But yeah, I just can't stand it because quit treating me like a child. I'm watching this, and you're trying to teach me the game. If I didn't know the game, I wouldn't be watching it.
But they have to because of all the Swifties that are watching that don't know anything about football.
There it is, back to it.
It is funny because there's probably a lot of dads out there who are, and there's tons of women who watch football too, don't get me wrong, but there's probably a lot of dads out there who are like, oh, I'm glad my daughter's watching football with me, I think.
Why did he hit him? That's so mean.
What's happening? So, but
Why is it? I thought. Why is it 6 points? That doesn't make sense.
It's a perfect.
Just call it 7. We all know it's 7.
It's a perfect representation of the struggle of the woman. Am I enough? Do I do enough? Am I successful? Am I a good mom? Am I volunteering? And it's the difference in personalities of men and women. And, you have to acknowledge that. And it's just one of those things. So
I am perfectly willing to celebrate the differences between men and women.
Amen.
Thank God
Amen.
we're different. Yes, 100%.
For sure.
But, I wanted to get it out. Thank you for letting me get it out. I appreciate it.
You feel better?
I do feel better a little bit because I think I finally verbalized like what I've been thinking over the past couple of weeks because this stuff is real, and the woke movement has damaged things. Because when you try to take too much, you disenfranchise.
Amen, Shauna.
And you're.
Yeah, well, the thing
you
is,
damage progress. If that makes sense.
Well, there you go. You said take too much.
When you take
really
too
can't
much.
take too much if it's rightfully yours. So
correct.
If you take it because it's right, because of we have these inalienable rights. If we start there, you really can't take too much. The problem is when you take something that's not yours, and then it makes people who've taken what is theirs feel like they're in the wrong, and then all of a sudden what you're saying is what you just expressed gets taken wrongly because it gets lumped into the wrong categories.
It gets lumped in.
Oh, wow, Beth, that's really cool.
Remember when Super Bowl with my dad and can't take
that
those.
is cool.
That is really cool. First Super Bowl with
it.
her dad. That's awesome.
But then you've got the people that take what's theirs, but somebody else thinks it's theirs.
There's lots of layers.
We
right?
get
And then you got somebody dressed like somebody else taking stuff, and then they're grabbing things, and nobody knows what they're touching.
Oh, and then you got eminent domain, the government getting involved. It's just a nightmare.
But
We'll save that for next week.
Yeah, because
What's happening in Texas?
yeah.
Yeah.
Razor wire.
let's talk about that. Not
Civil
today.
War
But
2.0.
no, the important thing I think we need to talk about before we get off the air this morning is the fact that Rogersville is going to be the dining mecca of Southwest Missouri. How did this happen
All
in
of a
2
sudden-
weeks?
0 to not 0.
know,
We
right?
went from 20 to 100.
Yeah.
We've got breakfast at Los
Holy
Compadres, which is
guacamole.
fantastic.
Do we have a wine bar now?
Yes.
We're going to have a Divine Deli and Wine Bar. They're going to be open, I think, in just a couple of weeks.
I'm so pumped
I
about
asked
that.
Doug's going to probably come on the show at some point, tell us what he's offering up there. We've got
Doug's restaurant experience is mind blowing.
Oh, it's fantastic. The guy knows what he's doing. Taxes. That's another topic, Ben. Taxes in Texas.
We can all agree, ew, on taxes.
And we've got a Japanese cuisine food truck.
Hibachi
saw that.
sushi food truck.
Hibachi sushi food truck coming in.
Interesting development.
Do we know who's doing this? Do we know
I don't
the
know who's
people?
doing that.
Okay, and I'll confess, here was some ignorance on my part. I didn't realize all that post-game pizza had that you could get there.
Yeah. Pizza, pasta,
Pizza,
salad,
pasta,
subs.
salad,
Yeah.
sandwiches. I had some wings yesterday
Yeah,
there.
they have
Oh, their
wings.
wings are good.
They
Their
have good
wings were
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I didn't know. I hadn't been there in so long, and I just really thought it was just pizza.
Like just delivery,
And of
right?
course,
Just delivery. Well, that's the primary reason. And so, but I went there yesterday.
Time to Loaf, Specialty Sweets, Cozumel, have been staples in the community forever.
Sky Dragon.
Lucy's. So we really went from not enough restaurants to we're hitting a good amount.
Well, and what I was
Shop local.
I was
Support
talking
local.
to Melvin about that. He's one of the guys at Los Compadres, about how we are getting all these new restaurants. And I was trying to encourage him because I didn't want him to feel like, oh no, there's all these new restaurants coming in. I'm like, no, this is making a bigger pie.
I think
this
so.
is more restaurants. Will help people realize, no, I can stay in Rogersville. I do have a lot of great options.
Yeah, I don't have to go to Springfield for a lunch meeting.
Oh, yes.
We can meet here for lunch.
It was Monday
100%.
yesterday, and I'd eaten at Cozumel on Friday, so I wasn't ready to eat there again because several of our restaurants are closed on Monday.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
And so I
Post-game
was,
pizza was open.
If
That's where I
Divine was
went.
open, I would have eaten in Rogersville yesterday as opposed to driving to Springfield.
I'm pretty sure he will be open.
So I hope so because Monday is kind of a desert day in food in Rogersville. So
Not a dessert day.
I'm pumped because believe me, I would love to spend more money in Rogersville.
Amen.
There you go.
Absolutely, and it's exciting time.
And I'd love to have more money to spend.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
That would be great,
Taxes.
too. Taxes.
Oh, yeah. Fun times.
And, this Monday we are going to launch our new show, Carol and I,
I'm pumped
Monday
about
afternoon.
I think the conversation today is a good intro into the conversations
Yeah.
you and Carol will have.
It's real similar to that. I think
because
so.
you guys are gonna. It's a wonderful concept, and you guys are gonna have to try to think from each other's brains a
yeah,
little bit.
you know, the Socratic.
Always a good practice.
The Socratic
I love
method.
it when people get me thinking out of my boxes
Yes.
and into a new way of thinking. I
And
may
that's-
not agree, but
100%.
But at
It's
least
good to
I'm
think about
trying
it.
hard to see from another perspective.
Well, one of the components of the Socratic method is you have to be able to state your opponent, the person you're discussing with, their position.
Yep.
And then they get to go, no, that's not right, or yeah, that's right. And so you go, okay, I got it wrong, so I didn't understand your position, so correct me. And then you go back and forth, and so that you state the other person's position, you explain it. And what a wonderful way to understand each other.
yeah.
I've always said I did not do speech and debate in high school, but in college I did for 2 years. And having to debate and hold to an argument that I didn't hold personally, to have to hold that up was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because it taught me just how to think like other people think, like to get in their brains a little bit, to try to find understanding. It's just so much easier to be kind to people you disagree with when you at least put yourself in their situation and try to get into their processes.
Well, and often, it affirms why you have the opinion you have. And you're like, it makes you more intelligent in your opinion.
Absolutely.
Which we need a whole lot more of that. There's a lot of people with opinions out there who
Well,
don't.
we have learned because of social media how to adopt other people's opinions. We've forgotten how to think for ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is one of the biggest
100%.
problems in our culture is
100%.
we are letting other people tell us how to think and how to feel.
Yep.
And to some extent, it's not just social media; it's all media.
It's all media.
Fair,
100%.
but social media has accelerated
Sure.
The disease that is our media now, that is no longer unbiased information.
It's
It is
now everywhere,
indoctrination in
every
many
second
ways.
of every day,
Yep.
if you let it be.
Yep.
Right? So,
But we're changing that right here on K-ROG Wildcat TV and Planet 417. So,
yeah.
and if you're in a community that's not Rogersville and you want to have your own little TV station like Rogersville does, we'd love to help you make that happen.
There you go.
So let us know. We'd like to help you with that.
Cool. Well, I always appreciate you guys. It's a good conversation, and, people with different life perspectives, and it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for playing. We'll be back next
Ditto.
week. Bye, Heather, and everybody else.